coming from APIs, so web services. So then you will get more clarity on some more points along with a concept called RxJS, means how we use asynchronous with services. We will discuss about that. So after understanding about the components, now we have another important is Angular forms. How do we work with Angular forms? So dealing with forms is very much important. So Angular provides different techniques of working with the forms, making format interactions very easily. The form interactions are very easy. So what are the various techniques, how it makes easy? We will see that. So we will take a look about that, right? Let's see. Yeah. So technically, you need to understand in general about the form and its purpose in HTML. So already we know form is a container actually. Container. Form is a container that that comprises of set of controls. Form is a container that comprises of controls. So which allows interaction with our application. So it handles operations like view, input, view, edit, input, and delete. So it handles operations like view, edit, input, and delete. So that means it enables us to create a UI from where user can view the data, input, delete the data. So technically, HTML form comprises of elements. HTML form comprises of elements like buttons, text box, checkbox, radius, drop down, etc. And Angular makes the form dynamic. Angular makes the form dynamic to handle client-side interactions. That is what actually the purpose of this concept. So Angular makes form dynamic. So to handle the client-side interactions. So here Angular can handle the forms in two ways. So there are two types of forms in Angular. So Angular supports two types of forms. One is template driven form. Another one is model driven form. Template driven form, model driven form, or it is also called reactive form. So that means in Angular there are two types of form handling. That means Angular supports two types of forms. They are classified into these two types based on where the logic, where they are handled actually. That means they are categorized into two types where they are based on where they are handled. Actually, template driven forms. So we will first see what is a template driven form. Actually, template driven forms. So these are the Angular forms. The Angular forms whose interactions are handled at the UI level. You can say that at view level. Whose interactions are all handled at view. That means configuration and manipulation, configuration and manipulation are all controlled at view level. Configuration and manipulation are all controlled at view level. So all are controlled at view level actually. Controlled at view level. So that means very less controller level interactions. All are at view level only. So that means configuring the form, interacting with the form, manipulating the form, everything is done in the view level. At view level only, all the operations are controlled. So technically, everything happens in the UI. Very less controller level interactions are done. That means at code level interactions are done. Controller means TypeScript logic level interactions are done. So that already we know action. Controller, what is controller, what is model, and what is view. Here, the key point is, one of the key point is, these type of forms are good for simple interactions. They are good for simple interactions. Why? Because some drawbacks of these type of forms is nothing but, so one of the main problem is template driven forms are generally heavy on UI. So if most of the interactions are handled at the UI level, at the view level, so these are heavy on page and it will take more time rendering. That means these forms are heavy on page and it takes more time